Hi, this is Tag again, and today I want to do a video about why you shouldn't use air coolers for runs in really cold ambience. Now, this is something I first noticed, well, with this here contraption, though I've always felt strange when I was running like regular winter benching outside before that, uh, that it sometimes wouldn't perform properly. So this was the like run where I really tested it out. This is just a score from some competition. Uh, this was in November, and in addition to that, I used a giant AC to basically pre-chill the air for the air cooler. And with this one, I noticed that the temperatures got pretty damn bad. Now, we don't have it here. Actually, we have it max like 60 degrees. Uh, when I got too cold. So let's start with the, I would say, theoretic explanation. I will do a bit of a actual experiment later. And well, for that we need this here graph. This is the graph of the triple point of water. Now this is just on the Wikipedia article called triple point. And they luckily used water as their example, which is good because, well, heat pipes are filled with water. So let me pull up a paint and sort of let me try to explain what happens inside a heat pipe. I hope I will do a good job of this, though don't count on it too much. Basically, in your heat pipe, you only have water. So when they are manufactured, you basically, well, one way of doing it is basically put a small amount of water in it, boil it so the vapor fills up like the room above the water, and then clamp the heat pipe shut basically. So you only have water in there, and because of that, basically the pressure can vary. You can imagine your heat pipe as a line in this direction, because you have a side that is colder, like here and here, and well, your pressure is basically going to vary because you only have water. It's going to vary with the average temperature, so to say, of your heat pipe. And basically, what happens is your water boils at the hot side and goes over to the cold side, turns into a liquid again, and then either by gravity or by capillary forces travels back to the hot side. Now, that's basically the reason why you have stuff like grooves cut into the inside of your heat pipe, or like copper powder sort of welded to the sides on the inside of your heat pipe. Now this, again, this line, let's remove those tabs. This line travels up and down the graph in this direction, so the pressure varies depending on your temperatures on both sides. Now, if one side, let's draw a line straight through here, if one side, like this here, is below freezing, some of your vapor goes straight over to the side that is below freezing and freezes in that place and can't travel back to the hot side. So now, obviously, not all of your vapor will condense on this side that is below 0 degrees. Some of it will also condense in the liquid part and make it back to the hot side. Now, this basically leads to this process taking a bit longer than you would expect. Basically, what I expected when I when I first sort of started researching this is that as soon as one part of your heat pipe is below freezing, it would just stop working at all. This is not the case. But basically over time and faster, the colder this side here is, the side that is below zero, the faster all of that vapor will condense in a solid form, and this line basically will move down in this direction because there is less vapor and liquid in the heat pipe, and the pressure will drop to a point where you reach this triple point here, and your heat pipe now looks something like this. And basically any remaining vapor that makes it to the cold side immediately turns to ice and can't make it back. So this is where your heat pipe will completely break down, and well, I hope you will see this decently well in the demonstration I'm going to do. So that's about it for the theory about heat pipes. I will just throw together a bit of a demonstration setup and, well, show you how it works in practice.
Okay, so here we are with a little test setup, I would say. Now this is just a random heat pipe I desoldered from a GPU cooler. I tested it and it still works, so didn't blow it out or like had all the liquid evaporate, the water in there. And I just put thermocouple up here on the water block. Now I have to use the water block because, well, it's not winter anymore and I have to sort of simulate cold temperatures. And I don't want it to cool down too quick, so I didn't use a phase change. And I also don't want it to get too cold. My chiller only gets to like minus 24-ish. And then there is a thermocouple in the middle, and on the bottom we have 4 little resistors, another thermocouple, and all of this is hooked up to my lab power supply here. Well, not turned on right now. And here we have our 3 thermometers. And well, it's basically from left to right. It's bottom, middle, and the minimite on the right is the top. So the cold side basically. They're all roughly the same. I didn't perfectly calibrate them, but it should be fine. So let's turn on the power supply first. Now we're running at like 8 volts and 3.1 amps, so it is about 25 watts. So we should see the hot side climbing rather quickly, and the cold side, well, also climbing obviously because there is no water flow right now. And so once this gets to about, I don't know, 30 degrees or so, I will turn on the chiller. I will probably fast forward like the next couple minutes of this video. I want to record all of it because then I can plot the temperatures over time in a nice little Excel and show you. Looks like we're getting to 30, so let's turn on the chiller. Now we should see the cold side drop immediately a bit because we now have liquid flow in the block. So from now it's pretty uneventful until we get to around, I would think, minus 2 degrees on the water block. So let's wait for that. So we are at -10, and you can already see that the efficiency of the thermal, the efficiency of the heat pipe is not all that good at low temperatures. We dropped the cold side temperature by about 20 degrees, and the hot side temperature only dropped by about 5. So basically, yes, the colder it gets, the more efficiency you lose, but this is not the main problem. You will see a point, and now this is not only at extreme low temperatures, but also if you run it at relatively low temperatures, where the biggest part of the heat pipe is below freezing, you will notice that at some point it completely breaks down, and we're reaching about that point. We're hotter than we were at like +10 temps, and it's just going to go up. I will have to end the test as in turn off the power supply soon. I did this once before and it went up way over 50 degrees, but let's see where it goes. If I see smoke from over there, then I'm going to turn it off. As you can see, cold side of the heat pipe -20, middle around 4 degrees, and the hot side is just going to keep going up and up and up, because by now we're basically only using the heat pipe as a like a basic copper pipe. The phase change inside doesn't do anything to heat transfer anymore. It's just the conductivity of the copper, basically. Maybe I'm going to do a test later with a lower voltage, and you will see that it actually works as a heat transfer medium rather well at around 10 watts, but at like 25, as you can see, it totally broke down. We're at 62 degrees. Don't see any smoke yet, so let's just see if this levels out. $64, $65 almost, and the cold side is getting a bit colder. Again, the chiller is about limited at -24, so if we let it run for a long time now, it would get to -24, but 22 is enough. And again, you don't need these extreme temperatures. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to simulate like milder negative temperatures over a long time. But I noticed this while actually benching in winter, that after like 30 minutes at like -10 or so degrees, a heat pipe cooler would completely lose its performance. I think we're going to level out somewhere around 75 to 80 by the looks of things. But that is pretty damn terrible. Considering 25 watts for a single heat pipe isn't really all that unrealistic. It's actually, I would say, even on the low end probably. I mean, most coolers have like 6 heat pipes, and yeah, you're definitely getting more than like 150 watts on most CPUs. So we're at 75, and I smell burning. I think I will just turn this off now. Actually, let's make another interesting experiment. Let's turn off the chiller. There we go, chiller is off. So it should start going down now again, the temperature. On the hot side. Because now all the water is basically frozen in the top part of our heat pipe, and it will slowly trickle down. Now usually, as I said, the water doesn't necessarily return to the hot side via gravity only. It does basically via capillary action in the either copper powder or like small cuts in the inside of the thermal of the heat pipe. And well, I just put it this way around so that it is basically the best circumstances for the heat pipe to work properly. So cold end on the top and hot end on the bottom. And you can see we are slowly dropping. Should start dropping a bit faster now. Around 0, yes, there we are. So now we have the full amount of fluid in the heat pipe again, and it has, well, severely increased thermal conductivity because of that, obviously. So as you can see, you're down below 70 again. Now obviously we would probably drop way further down if I could manually just turn on the loop and let run coolant through the block, but the way my chiller is set up right now, it is well, the pump is only on if the compressors are also on, so can't do much about it. But as you can see, the water block is slowly going up and it's now functioning as intended again. I think we're going to get maybe at 250 before the water block gets too hot. As you can see, we're already at 7 degrees on the hot end. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think it will drop much further. So let's end this here. I'm just going to turn off the lab power supply. There we go. Now it's obviously going to drop way down. So basically, as you can see, air coolers are not optimal for sub-ambient, or not sub-ambient, low ambient, like winter overclocking sessions. What I would recommend instead is use something like a water loop like I do here. And if you are running below, or not below, if you're running between -10 and 0 degrees in winter, I would recommend using glycol-based antifreeze, so something like you have in the radiator of your car. Now that stuff is rated for way lower temps, but it basically increases in viscosity to a point where normal pumps can't handle it anymore. Now obviously the pump in your car has way more pressure, so it forces that stuff through a radiator, no problem. But for PC cooling, I would recommend, if you have less than -10 degrees ambient in winter, to use a mixture of water and ethanol, or I guess just vodka basically, because pure ethanol has not great thermal capacity, though it is actually better than what I use. I use isopropanol in this loop here, but even at chiller temperatures like -40, you're better off with using pure ethanol because it has a bit higher thermal capacity than isopropanol. But I haven't just gotten around to it, and I just filled my loop with isopropanol because I had 6 or 7 liters of it just sitting around. I use it for cleaning PCBs and stuff like that. So yeah, I have to buy ethanol at some point, and it should not necessarily decrease temperatures, but it should increase the heat that the loop can handle. So yeah. Anyways, I think that's it for this little demonstration, and I hope you learned something. Bye.